Hi friends, Patty Dooley here with Tupperware. I know, I'm back. Yeah, it's been a while, but we are going to, or I should say I am going to do my best to do more videos and everything this year. I still have a few things to work on. As for one, my lighting, as you can see, is still not the best, but I'm working on it. Today we're going to do a recipe that is actually done in the oven. Yes, Tupperware has products that work in the oven and on top of the stove. It's actually called Ulta Pro right here. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But I mean, we can cook in the microwave and everything. But there are times, especially winter, that I like to cook in my oven. Summertime, no. Winter, yes. So I'm going to turn the camera down here and we are going to talk a little bit about the Ultra Pro and what Tupperware has to offer in this product line. So let me get you turned down here. There we go. Get you in frame. I know my counter is, I have very small counter space, so we kind of have to work with what we got. But this is the Tupperware Ultra Pro. It is a plastic material, but it's a special kind that's actually made to cook in the oven. There's something to keep in mind. It does not work on an open flame. If you put it on an open flame, it will melt it. It will really tear it up. You don't want a blob of stuff like melting on your stovetop. If you broil, you have to keep it further down. It's not recommended for broiling. Like mine is a gas stove, so if I try to broil, I have to put it in the bottom, and then there's an open flame. It's not recommended for that. But it is really, 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 and I mean really versatile. These actually can go in the oven, in the microwave. I cook often in the microwave with these, and in the freezer. Say like if I want to, maybe back at Thanksgiving or a holiday or something, if I want to do a big pan of dressing, I can do a pan of dressing, get everything ready, and say it's several days away and I'm just trying to prep ahead of time. Then I can set this in the freezer. I'll take some saran wrap or something and wrap around the middle so it doesn't come open because the lids do not lock. And then I'll just set it down in the freezer, and then like the day before, I'll get it out, thaw it out, and get it ready for the oven the next day. But it's really, really good, and you can tandem cook with these. This one is the lasagna pan, and it's 3.5 quarts. Another thing, they're good in the oven up to 482 degrees or 87 degrees. I'm trying to remember. 482. But they also make a roaster, which I do not have, but it's this size and it's 6 quarts. Now I can show you an example. It's not as big, but this is a smaller one. And say like the 6 quart will be as big as this one here, and you can actually turn it up and put it over the top and cook like big chickens, or a smaller turkey can fit in here wherever you need that space. And I absolutely love it. I really need the big one, but I don't cook turkeys and stuff like that anymore. So, but I do cook chickens, and this will hold a nice sized chicken, a really good sized chicken. You just kind of have to cover it over with some foil and stuff to keep it from, to have that cover over it. Like I said, you can use these in the microwave, and you can also put them in the freezer. And what we're going to use this for, well, actually, we're going to use the top, because you can cook in the top, you can cook in the bottom, or you can tandem cook just like this, and which I have done that before. I'm making something down here, and I put stuff in the top, and then I just set the whole pan in the oven. But today we're just going to be using the top. We're not going to have the big bottom to cook with, so I'm going to set this aside. And we're just going to cook a veggie bake in the top of here. And as we go, we're going to cook part of it in the microwave for about 5 minutes. Tandem cooking also means that you can start something in the microwave, cook it to a certain point or to doneness, and then put it in the oven and then finish baking it off so it gets that browned crust on the top. So we are going to start part of this in the microwave, and what that does is it just gets it done a little bit faster and then finish it off in the oven. So for that, for the veggie bake, mind you that you can do pretty much any vegetables you like in this veggie bake, but this is like a basic one. I'm just adding a little bit of something different, or should say adding to. But I'm going to use the Tupperware mandolin. It comes with some extra, I should say it comes with one extra, and then you can buy the, or could buy the shredder part with it. But it has a rippled one, and then it has a straight edge. We're using the straight edge. And they come right in here for storage and snap on underneath. So when you put it up, it's all in one thing. We're going to set that over there. And then this comes with the hand guard that you use to swipe down, because this is very sharp. Very, very sharp. So I'm going to slice up some potatoes. The recipe calls for 2 Idaho russet potatoes. I didn't have any. I'm just using some Yukon Gold potatoes. Those actually cook a little bit faster, a little more creamier. And then it calls for zucchini, Roma tomatoes, then some olive oil, Italian seasoning, Parmesan cheese. Now let me make a little statement here. If you do not have everything the recipe calls for, improvise. It's your recipe. If there's something in there you don't like, leave that out. If there's something else you want to add in, add that in. Make it your own. You know, you may not have every single thing, but you have the majority of it. So that's what I do. That's real cooking at real homes. The leg part is underneath here. We're just going to pop that out. And then we're going to set the mandolin for the potatoes at a number 4. There's numbers right here on the side. And we're going to take this, and as it's doing that, it's lowering this part here. So before we do that, I'm going to raise it all the way back up. You can see I can run my hand across and there's nothing's going to cut me. But as I lower this down, you can see that it exposes the blade. So I'm going to take at least one potato right now. I'm going to cut it in half just like that right here. Mostly just easier to use and show. And I'm going to set this here. It's got the hand grip right here that you can do. And we are just going to slice this down, even slices through everything. And here they are, just like this. This is a number 4 cut. So I'm just going to, well, before I do that, I'm going to put them in a bowl because we're going to drizzle some olive oil and some seasoning over it. And we are going to finish cutting these. I'm going to start with 2 to see how much these actually fill up my top over here. And if I have to have extra, then I've got 1 extra potato peeled. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me on other videos and stuff about a website for the recipes. I don't have a website like that I maintain. But I'm going to try and revise my old blog and put the recipes up on there that you can get them, copy and paste, maybe print them off. I'll just have to see. It's on blog. It's a Google blog, so I may have to go to a different one so I can get them to where you can print them off. But we shall see. The one I have now I haven't used in several years. So yeah, I got to work on that. Let me get my olive oil out. And we're just going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil over these. This recipe is like super, super easy. Super easy. And we're going to take a little bit of salt, not much. Do that. I have Italian seasoning here. If you don't like Italian seasoning, use something else. Or just use some rosemary, basil, thyme, oregano, and make it the way you like it. I'm just going to sprinkle some of that over it. And then we're going to toss this around just so you can see here. Get that coated. And I'm going to lay this down. And like I said, I want to do this to see how much of these potatoes are going to cover this top. Like I said, it may take an extra potato, and if it does, fine. I've got one already peeled, sitting over here waiting. So I hope everyone is doing well and that everyone had a great holiday. I know so many people are sick with the flu and the sinus stuff, and we had that. Actually, my husband came in just a few days before Thanksgiving and asked if I had a scratchy throat. And the next day he was in bed with high fever, and by Thanksgiving Day I was in bed with high fever. So we missed all of Thanksgiving with family and friends and our daughters, and right up until Christmas. Actually, we didn't have Christmas with our family until last Saturday. So yeah, then they came down sick and couldn't make it for Christmas and stuff. So I think a lot of people have suffered with that particular issue. So this seems to be enough potatoes right here, and I'm going to overlap that a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these in the microwave for 5 minutes on full power. You may want to adjust your time. Like I have a 1250 watt microwave, so 4 minutes maybe at a higher wattage microwave like that. And then we're going to come back and cut some zucchini and some sliced tomato. I'm adding onion and some crushed garlic. I have to have my garlic, so we're going to do that. So I will put this in the microwave, and we'll come right back and finish all of this up. Okay, so I put this in the microwave. I went ahead and done 5 minutes. And let me tell you, it's hot. Potatoes are hot. But you can see right here, it starts to already pre-cook the potatoes. Now, another thing, you want to heat your oven up to 425 for this recipe. But what I'm going to do is we got to slice the other vegetables, and I'm going to set this over to the side. And if you want to, by the way, you can do a little bit more potatoes in there. But there's just 2 of us here, so this is plenty for the 2 of us to have for dinner tonight. So I'm going to set that over there, and we're going to finish working on the rest of the recipe. Now we have to slice the other vegetables, but I also want to do olive oil and seasoning on those. So I'm going to a couple of tablespoons, 2-3 tablespoons, just glug it in there however you like. And then I'm going to take a fresh clove of garlic. I have my Tupperware garlic press here, and I'm going to put the garlic clove right here. Put that metal handle down, squeeze, and it cracks that garlic, and then we can just take the skin right off. Just like that. Does have a little bad spot, so I'm going to cut that little piece out. And then we're going to place this down inside here, and we're just going to squeeze that garlic right into here. And then we're going to add some of the Italian seasoning or other seasoning. I even have Greek seasoning in there because I mix all of my seasonings up myself. I very seldom buy store-bought stuff. So I like to mix it up the way I like it, because sometimes it has things in there that I'm not particularly crazy about, or my husband is, or stuff that I want more of, especially garlic. And then that's what I do. So I'm going to stir this around, get that garlic moved around in there so it is mixed in with that olive oil. And we're going to set this to the side. We're going to bring our mandolin back, and while we still have it set at the number 4, we're going to slice some Roma tomatoes. Now, if you don't have Roma tomatoes, just use regular tomatoes. Matter of fact, I have one big one here just in case I need it. And we're going to take the hand guard, and we're going to put that down on there. And we're going to attempt to slice tomatoes, because your thing needs to be sharp to slice tomatoes, especially since the skin. Since that's not going to slice the skin, we're just going to do this part by hand. How about that? Now, it might work on the ripply part of the thing. And you know, that's what happens. So we are going to cut these about the same thickness as potatoes, or maybe a little bit thinner. And like I said, tomatoes, the skin is one thing to really try to get through. And if you have problems with it, just go to a serrated knife like this. It's no big deal. You know, I have to do that. Now, as I was saying about the Ulta Pro, right now in the catalog, what they have is the lasagna pan that I'm using today, and then the 6.5, what size is a 6-quart roaster with a top. I believe it comes with a top, or you can buy the whole thing as a complete deal. And those are on my website, on my Tupperware website. So if you'd like to go look at that, I'm leaving a link down in the description for you to go browse around and look. And over the years, they've had many other pieces that, you know, they come out at a particular sale or time. They may bring other pieces out during the summer, or, you know, early winter, and you can go check those out. They may add some more back in come the summer catalog. It's just something I'm not real sure of, but those are the two main ones that they have. So we're going to have to do the mandolin again to cut the zucchini and the onion. For the zucchini, we're going to want that on a number 2, which means we're going to have to move this knob here back to the number 2, which makes it a little bit thinner. And then we're just going to cut the zucchini in half like I did this one. We're going to put the guard on. And then we're just going to slice the zucchini. I'm going to start out with one. And if I need more, we'll just get more. And as you're slicing, you push down on that little handle so that way it comes all the way down and gets to that last piece, and you can just push that through there. And the number 2 is about that thick. And we're going to take this and put that in and then do the other half. Now, if you want to add other vegetables to it, by all means do that. This would be a great summer dish with fresh zucchini and squash and stuff. Oh, I'm so ready for summer and my garden. I can't tell you how much I am. My husband and I were talking about that the other day. I was like, oh, I'm so ready for fresh tomatoes. Not these store-bought green things. I'm going to take an onion, and I'm going to do some slices. All I did, let me get this back out here, is I cut one end off, left the root end on, peeled it, and then I'm taking, and it's going to make like rings. If you don't want rings, you can do like half moons, whatever. And I'm not going to cut a whole lot of it. I just want pieces of it in there. And we're going to set that over here. And throw this into this here. And we have our olive oil, our seasoning, and our fresh garlic in here, and we're just going to toss all this around. Try to get everything covered. If you need a little more olive oil, put it in there. Nothing says you can't. You could probably do some fresh mushrooms, which I have in there, some whole mushrooms that I thought about putting in. Slicing those down kind of thin, adding them to it, because they don't take very long to cook at all. And the reason for the Roma tomatoes is they're a more meaty tomato, less pulp in there. So they hold up a little bit better than your regular big tomato that has more pulp area and seed. And I'm just trying to get some of these stacks of zucchini pulled apart and stuff put down in between those. It also calls for grated Parmesan cheese, and when I went for mine, it is all gone. Because for our Christmas thing, we had, oh God, we had like Subway sandwiches that you can make at home yourself. And so we had all kinds of cheeses out here, all kinds of meats. So I think my Parmesan cheese got used. So here's our potatoes. And we are going to take the zucchini and lay this on top of the potatoes. Now we might not need that whole thing there, that whole zucchini. Now if you want to, you can layer this thicker if you want. If you're making for, you know, a larger family, a bigger crowd, you can do that by all means. If you're not, you know, fix it to where you know that you and whoever's eating with you, or if you're eating alone, would like it. But it's super easy to do. I'm going to throw some of these onions in there too. So I'm not even going to be able to get all the zucchini in here unless I double it in spots. And I think that would be okay. So I'm going to throw some of the onions in here too now. Let's get some onion rings on top of that. And see, we've got that fresh garlic in here already mixed in. I can tell you just from the spices and stuff, it smells really, really good. But like I said, I have a Greek seasoning in there that would be, oh, awesome with this. So I've got a few more pieces in here. I'm just trying to get out make sure I got the onion. So we're going to layer this with tomato now. And we might have to go to the other tomato and mix that in as well. Because these Roma tomatoes that I had, only 2 left that I had left over from making salsa the other day. Because my husband and I had tacos for dinner and fresh salsa. And I didn't think about saving more for my recipe. I should have. So yeah, I'm going to have to cut up this other tomato. But I still have enough oil and stuff in there that I can do that with. So let me push this aside. And that's cooled off now. And we're just going to cut up this other tomato. Cut that core out. And then slice it. And as you can see, these have more pulp area, I should say, than the Roma tomato, which might make a little more juicier of a dish. Let me put that in there. Give this a toss around so we can get all that goodness on top of those. And we will work with what we have. Bring this back over. And yeah, these tomatoes are a lot bigger. And I think we're going to work out with just enough tomato. I got one little piece of Roma tomato bottom there. And I'm going to leave those in there. And I'm going to get the rest of this onion. Now, I know this does not call for cheddar cheese, but actually that's all I have. So I'm hoping that it tastes okay. Because I did not have any more Parmesan cheese. I don't know. If I wanted to, I could just leave it off. And I'm going to take the rest of this juice and just kind of pour it around on here. Get that last bit of garlic. Kind of dress everything up. And I already have my oven set for 425. But this is what it's going to look like right here before we put it in the oven. So I'm going to put this in the oven at 425 for about 20 minutes. Kind of check your stuff before, right there at the 20-minute mark. You might have to go just a little bit longer. You may like it right where it's at. But we shall see. I'm only going to do half of this with cheese on it, just to really see how it is. Maybe mozzarella would have been better. I don't know. But we're just going to do half of that. If you're putting cheese on it, you want your cheese till it's, you know, melted and kind of brown. It gets a crust on it, but you're not broiling it. So let me get this put in the oven. And we will come back and see the finished dish and see how we like it. And I'll attempt to plate it up. But it might be too hot. I don't know. We shall see. So don't go away. We will be right back. Okay, we put this in, or I keep saying we. I put this in the oven for 20 minutes. And you can see it right here. It is hot. It is sizzling. The cheese is melted on here. We did just half of it. It smells really, really good. Really good. It probably would have been a lot better with the Parmesan cheese on there. But, you know, hey, you do what you can with what you have. So I am going to scoot this over here. And I'm going to attempt to get some out of here while it's hot. I can't promise. And another thing, when you use these Ultra Pros, you do not want to use any sharp utensils because you don't want to cut the coating that's on here. Well, the whole thing, it will mess it up. So try not to use anything very sharp. And I'm going to try to get this smaller section out instead of trying to do one big one. It's a little hot. Stop this from sliding a little bit. And the cheese is really melted. Really good. Nice crust on it in spots. But I need something to keep that from sliding around. Put this on here. Once again, I probably, you know, I would have had more potato if I used the Idaho potatoes, but really it's fine. But that is the recipe there, so I know it looks a little all over the place, but you know, it's very hot, so the cheese is still running and stuff. And once again, you can put more potato in here to your preference. But that is our Veggie Bake in the oven with the Ultra Pro. These things are so easy to use. So I'm going to turn you back up here. Well, before we do that, I'm just going to go over the products that we use today. Of course, we use our Tupperware Thasta bowl. I use these things for everything, and I mean everything. We use the garlic press. We use the spatula, silicone spatula. We use the mandolin today. Just things to help make it easier in the kitchen. And then we use the Ultra Pro. Now, if you want this to be a lot thicker, more like a thicker casserole, you could probably do it here in the bottom and layer it several layers if you want to. You'll have to adjust your baking time if you do that. But yeah, this turned out really good. Really easy to do. A lot of basic ingredients in there. So like I said, I'm going to turn you back up to get to talk to you face to face. But maybe you're not so crooked. Here we go. All right, but this looks really good. It smells so good. Oh my gosh. It really does. You could probably flavor this like a pizza and do just a whole veggie pizza this way. Veggie pizza flavored. Oh my god. So many things you could do with this. But that's the Ultra Pro. If you have questions about the Ultra Pro, please feel free to comment or message me over on Facebook. I'll talk to you about them. I'll help you with whatever your question is. I will put the ingredients list down in the description. I'm going to go over it one more time. It called for Idaho, but it didn't have those, so I used Yukon Gold. 2 Idaho potatoes, 1 zucchini, probably larger Roma tomatoes, 2 of those, some Italian seasoning, some olive oil to drizzle with, and some Parmesan cheese, grated Parmesan cheese, about a half a cup of that to go over the top. So just basic, very basic ingredients right here. Add to whatever you want to add to it. Take away whatever you want to take away from it. Make the recipe your own and enjoy it. It's for you and your family. But yeah, so I will end everything here. I'll try to get a picture of this, and so you can see it on the video or do it as a thumbnail or whatever, and try to put a picture of it up over on my business page, to which you can find me on Facebook at just search for twpattydooley.com. I'll leave a link to it down in the description as well. I'll leave a link to my Tupperware website that you can go to. Go through, browse. We've got sales going on right now. A bunch of it is our Modular Mate stuff is on sale. Our yearly sale at that, and it's all discounted for the sale. But I'll be glad to help you in any way that I can. I might try to do some actual lives this year, like I do on my private group. I cook for them every other Thursday live. So I'm slowly getting back into the groove of things on here to where I had been gone for so long. But you guys have a blessed day. Glad I got to spend time with you and see you. I know I don't see you, but I know I see you. So I love you all. Have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye.